Welcome, everybody. Episode 28 of the latest, Brad. 28. Wow.
Yeah.
Exciting. Um,
Yeah, it's been more than half a year. We're getting into our stride here.
so much going on. Yeah, and just so exciting. I think that all the stuff you have to go over today is just mind-bending. And I think some of these AI weeks and you're trying to like pack everything into your head, and it's like it gets intense, right? And it stretches. But I love it. I just think it's never the fun never stops, you know?
There's so much to see and do that you I think we live in the slipstream of AI news. We take for granted that for other people this is brand new. They've never heard of it. So for everybody watching the latest, we love that you guys watch the latest and you help us keep up. You've got something brand new that I haven't heard about, which is why we're 10 minutes late because you had to tell me about it. Why don't we kick it off with that?
Totally. So well, the first thing I was gonna excuse me, that I was gonna bring up as soon as this clicks in was that versus so basically the spatial web standards um that IEEE's been working on, God, for probably multiple years now, and it's IEEE 2874. What were released yesterday. What that does and what that means to you, and this is all around standards for hyperspace transaction protocol. I'm gonna dig into this more next week, Brad, but I wrote a brief article about it today. Essentially what it does is it puts this HSTP and HSML layer on top of HTTP and HTML, right? So instead of linking documents, they describe the relationships you have with, places or people or companies, like within a 3D space, right? And it just adds a new context to things. There's new there'll be new, and I don't even want to call them URLs, although they may still be considered that, but there's just a new layer of things to lock up to have your identifier. Pretty crazy. So versus this, they have a product called the Genius, and it's pretty genius, Brad. So anyway, more on that as we continue. I'll dig into it next week, and maybe we'll even see if we can get somebody from one of these companies on. An amazing woman named Denise Holt has really been banging this drum for a while. And it's just, it's nice that it finally comes to fruition. Sometimes these when you're creating these new standards, whether they're ISO standards or IEEE standards, and really why they create these standards is to bring alignment of the industries, right? So the plugs we plug into our phones. I know a lot of times it seems like we're buying a new phone for everything, but new charger or something. But if you think about all of the ones that can be reused now, right, with USB 3 or C and stuff like that. So anyway, it's great that they have these standards, and hats off to the IEEE.
So let's make sense of this. When you are using the internet, it used to be the case you typed in HTTP, which means that you're transferring something, which is one of the T's, and before you're transferring text, so that was the text transfer, and then the protocol is just the rules. So it was just like to make sure it works for everybody, we're gonna set like not like rules of play, but rules of like sending, just that it's gonna reach your computer or my computer. That was the text transfer protocol or the rules for sending text, but then it's not just text, it's text with links and it's text that turns into things. So it was hyper. So they call it hyper text. And then you're sending it, transferring it, and that's the protocol. It's the hypertext transfer protocol. But what you're saying is it's hyperspace. So it's not that it's sending text, it's sending like physical location or 3D rendering. So Zoom calls, Snapchats, FaceTimes, Google Maps. It's like that next layer beyond just text on screen.
Right. I think you'll be able to pop up a world. I think that's what it looks like, right? Kind of
Wow.
like 3D space, and just really interesting. Active intra is something that they, kind of a what they've been talking about as far as more like proactive AI, where it really goes out and does smart learning about your systems, and
Mhm.
just some brilliant people, out of the LA tech scene. I just think we see more and more. Well, I won't even say coming out of LA, because we're just seeing amazing innovations happening all around the world. Lovable Sweden,
Mhm.
right? So it's not just Silicon Valley anymore. Mistral, France. I could go on and on, but
DeepSeek, China.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So let's look at what's new. And then Sani, our friend Sani, is good to remind us that we're not AI experts, we're AI software experts. And there's a difference, which means that we're aware of the software, what it can do, who it can help, but we're not like turning quantum chips into like that. There's a level there of respect for the people who are actually AI experts. We're AI software experts, which is great.
Yeah,
So,
and I like to call it applied AI, Brad, right?
hmm,
That's where expertise is. I mean, you're so brilliant at this too. You talk to a client, you're kind of seeing how they can apply these things to what they're doing. And they don't have to know every tool. They just have to know what their goals are, right? So I'm excited to hear what you got in the pipeline for today.
great. So for anybody that knows HeyGen, right? Like generative AI, which means you're making something using AI software. HeyGen is the video generator that people consider the number one, the top, the standard, right? So HeyGen, I don't think I'm a free member right now, so I don't have the paid features, but I'm just showing you what's new. So they have their next generation Avatar 4. So what you would do, you can see here's me sitting in my chair where I am right now from November and October. You film yourself and then essentially they make a puppet out of you, right? You're letting them use your likeness to make like a moving talking puppet, right? And the quality varies. Now they've upped the quality so that you can turn your likeness into what looks like a Muppet, what looks like a Pixar cartoon, what looks like Japanese anime, what looks like a dog with a gun. I guess these would be actual people, or a Lego person, or a slightly cartoon person, or a pixelated person. Like you can do this with a click. Okay. And so now it's photo to video. So you can see the red new button. So we're live on the internet. Turn a photo and a script into a realistic talking video. So what you could do in theory is go to Midjourney, right? Which is a software for creating images. This is the feed from users. So these aren't my images, right? So I don't know what's on here, but these are images people made from a text prompt. So they're like, give me, a girl in a red phone booth or someone playing guitar at the beach, etc. What you might want to do is go to ChatGPT or your favorite language model and say, what is the prompt for a picture, dot, 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 right? And if you don't like to type, you can use the microphone button and dictate it. You could take that prompt to more advanced software like Midjourney and create an image. And you could take your own photo. You could just take a photo with your camera to emphasize you don't have to do that. But I'm saying you also don't have to go out to the beach with a person with a guitar and film it. And then you can turn a photo and a script. We could do the same process with ChatGPT for the script. Give me what a person at the beach with a guitar would say. And you can turn it into a realistic talking video. So for anything you're doing creatively, professionally, personally, or otherwise, Avatar 4 allows you to turn a single photo and script into a talking video with full body and background motion. First, upload your photo. Next, type out your script. Now watch Avatar 4 bring it to life with lifelike lip syncs and natural head movements.
Today, I'm sharing my top secrets for glowing skin.
I don't need an umbrella. I just need to move forward. All this time, I thought you'd kept. Turns out I was waiting at the wrong station.
Come on, let's see what's waiting for us next.
Avatar 4 generates realistic expressions and gestures that match your script, all from just a single image. And unlike other models, it can handle side angles and partially covered faces. This is the power of Avatar 4. Avatar 4 allows. I mean, like, let's just pause and talk about that for a second. Wow, David, just wow. Like, wow.
Amazing.
It is amazing. It's not only amazing, it's important to talk about that what you are now seeing on your social media scroll might not be a real human being.
For sure. And I think this is, as we enter this kind of, I almost feel like I'm not even gonna say what stage. Could be stage 25 of AI, but maybe we'll say since, generative AI came out, maybe the second stage or third stage as it's really getting real. And I think that's where, yeah, that's just we're going to continue to see a lot of transformation. I mean, you showed VO last week.
Yeah.
Right now, something like this, we're working on with Stone AI, ways to bring some of these stories to life. But then, how do you lock down IP so it is credited to the creatives? And like I think we were talking about yesterday, the human element is still there. And it's like we really have to superpower our humans to use these tools to then create something that'll just push the envelope. And I just, it's so important,
I think for anyone who's creative, these tools are amplifiers. And for anyone who felt like they didn't have the skill set prior to, this is, in my opinion, and in my experience, these tools are not like Photoshop. When I watch someone use Photoshop, it felt so advanced, it felt so distant from the person who had never used it that it was, I'd always been intimidated by Photoshop, David. When I saw someone use it, I looked at it and I kind of sighed and went, oh, do I have 3 years to get good at it? I don't feel like I had that time. But these tools, they feel immediate. They feel like you could just sit down, never having seen them before, drag a photo in, write a script or have a system write a script. And then the second new tool from HeyGen is Create Video in AI Studio. So it's a full creation platform to make a script, edit it, and produce the videos using avatars. So I'm going to click this. It might pop up a video right away. Is this going to load as a video? To make your first video, select a template. So the template is the framing. Do I want a blank text canvas on the left and then a nested video frame on the right? Template 2 is a person without a background, full frame, and template 3 is similar. All right, so let's use template 3. And this is loading longer than I would have liked. So we'll hit the refresh button. But you can see it's sort of like a studio. I can pick Brandon sitting in an office. I could have picked myself, but I just want to see what these things do. Anyway, this is new. There's a lot to play with. We're not going to play with the software in front of you for half an hour, but you can see for anyone who's used editing software, it looks like I can very easily just trim where this goes, right? And I could trim where this goes. So, I think I can just trim where I want it to. It seems very user-friendly to drag and drop. Does this look like the quality I want? It doesn't, but I think if I use my own avatar, which I have, I think it would look good. So, you've got templates, you've got script makers, you've got what the text looks like. It's like a Canva kind of interface that you can have it on the screen, that you can have a big sale. Look, I can just drag this and put it there. And of course, I could say, do I want it to say 50% off or do I want it to say something different? If I wanted to say, wow, I could. Right? So you can change that text. I believe you can change the color of the font. There's all the options you would guess, and I can separate it, big sale, wow. Change the person, right? And then add elements if you want to put your Instagram logo so people know to go to Instagram or whatever it is. It's looking like a merge of Canva. If anyone has not seen Canva, Canva is one of the premier softwares for creativity, for creating documents, presentations, social media, photo editor. Canva is a tremendous software. I use it all the time. So this is HeyGen. HeyGen seems like they're adding a Canva layer to the avatar videos so that it can look like you, it can look like a person in your team, or look like someone who doesn't even exist. You can make them, create them, interact with them. They can talk. Some of them look much more realistic than others. They are really reaching out. Let's move on. So 11 Labs. So that was video. This is audio. 11 Labs released on May 30th It's almost like a year ago. No, that was 7 days ago. Conversational AI 2.0. So conversational AI, they had one that wasn't an hour long. Oh my goodness. They had a video that was 30 seconds long, but they're giving a much more human sounding interaction. So 11 Labs is conversational software. You're talking to it. It is better at taking turns. It introduces RAG. And RAG is one of those words people say and you think you know what it means. How would you describe RAG, David?
How would I describe RAG, huh? I know it stands for regenerative augmented something. These acronyms. Oh,
Retrieval.
Retrieval Augmented Generation, exactly. Right. So really a way to lock down images and things that you're working on, right? To create consistency.
Yeah, it's consistent knowledge and look and information. So if you have a store in Seattle and you don't want to generate that you have a store in St. Louis and a store in Syracuse and a store in Sarasota because they all start with S, you say, no. We just have a store in Seattle. It would be a way to make sure that your inventory, your prices, the names, the dates, the times, any key information isn't being created at a fictional level that's created factually. So a RAG is like a specific box of information or data pool or data silo. It's just this idea that the software is drawing information from a designated file. You're like, look over here, right? So what they're saying is that 11 Labs now can create a talking avatar that you can interact with that will take turns, that will draw information from your files specifically, that can switch to different languages on the fly. So you can change the language you're speaking and it will interact back with you in real time. And not only that, it can do multiple voices. There's got to be the new video that's not an hour long, because I do not want to have everybody watch an hour-long video. And I also don't want to watch someone's version of that video. That's frustrating. I had this. Maybe it's here.
11 Labs Conversational AI is evolving. We've been optimizing some brand new features to create the most sophisticated voice agents in the world. First up, we've developed a state-of-the-art turn-taking model to help agents perfectly understand when to interrupt.
Thank you. And what's your order number, please?
Oh, let me just double check. 947835.
Perfect. Your delivery is on its way.
And second, we've integrated language detection for seamless multilingual discussions.
Hi, welcome to our design studio.
すみません。日本語で話してもいいですか?
もちろんです。日本語に切り替え。
See, like that's the cool part there, David, is like they went from English to a different language. Let's watch that again. So it detects automatically. It's not like a setting where you're like, oh, did I have to set it for these 2 or 3 languages?
Seamless multilingual discussions.
Hi, welcome to our design studio.
すみません。日本語で話してもいいですか?
もちろんです。日本語に切り替えましょう。
And we've built the world's first integrated.
So here's where it's important to zoom in and see this, that it goes from transcribing the words. So you're talking to it and it's listening to it, turning your spoken words into text. It knows to take turns, right? It then uses a large language model. So it's using the good version of what we're used to in software to create its response. Then it sends it to its knowledge base. So it's like, okay, should I tell them these are true facts about this business or interaction? And then it turns that text into speech, right? And then it tests it, and then it sends it to your phone or website. So that's what that image is right there.
But voice agents to retrieve from your knowledge base at minimum latency with maximum privacy.
Your next patient is Mr. Frank Reynolds with ataxia.
Oh, it's been a while since I've worked with ataxia. Could you remind me of the guidelines, please?
Sure. I analyzed all the best practices and found this.
And lastly, why limit your creativity when you can switch between multiple characters in a single agent?
Okay, guys, let's head east towards downtown.
Sure, that boss. Hey, don't be scared, man. Let's just go.
This is just the start of a new era of communication and understanding, all with full HIPAA compliance, third-party integration, enterprise-grade security, optional EU data residency, and industry-leading reliability across all agents. The potential of conversational AI has never been greater. The time to build is now.
So that's conversational AI. As you know, David, earlier this year, I was the host of a 2-day conversational AI conference in Toronto. And the world of conversational AI is tough to wrap your head around that, like today, not like soon, today, you might be on a call with some kind of 1-800 number for a service for your product or for your activity. And then you're going to be perhaps talking to an artificial intelligence agent like that might even be the same computer that comes in as different voices, has different knowledge points, can answer your questions in different languages. These aren't like future technologies. These are current technologies.
It's amazing, right? You think about, and I don't know, I mean, have we heard much about the internationalization, not just the changing of the words and the translation, but is it actually using the nuances? I would assume it kind of is, because it's next level, but it's interesting, right? And I mean, I think the great thing about AI, or you say great thing, some people say it's not a great thing, but it is training in many cases off of what's been happening so that they can pick up those new nuances and just adjust on the fly.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that went from like a comedic punchline of, oh wow, this thing can talk, but it sounds like a robot, to we've crossed that line that the videos now look like people, the audio sound like people, the gap between the computer performing an action and you seeing it and hearing it has reached the human level. Like I pause, I think, I go, what is that thing? The computer is doing that as well. So these are the cool softwares to know about, which is HeyGen and 11 Labs. And you might say, how am I going to use that? Trust me, for almost any business, they would benefit from having a talking avatar on their website that helps people understand their product or service that says, this is how I help you. This is what we do. Let's get some quick hits here. So Claude is one of the big, large language models. They now have a research button, right, for anybody that's doing research. And they have extended thinking. And just if you haven't looked in a while, the slider, their search and tools, that you can choose your styles, extended thinking, web search, Google Drive search. So you can search your Google Drive. I've not used that feature yet.
Huge. No, I haven't used that either.
Like, this is the best part about doing the latest, is that we have to revisit all these tools every so often. So it says that beta, which means that they're just testing it. But I guess in theory, I've connected my Google account. I could look through my files and find information. And then I can search my Gmail and I can search my calendar. So I could say, David and I have a meeting coming up. What did he email me about? And then do I have a file about that in my Google Drive? And then this is with this MCP. I've still not fully wrapped my head around MCP. But just like we talked about, the HTTP is like the rules for transferring text. These are the rules for your large language model to have context. And I know we're getting deep here for whatever it is, 7 a.m. Pacific, but these are the rules for your large language model. Basically, you can think about it like that. These are the rules for the large language model to interact. So now Google Calendar has its standard set of features. So they made rules so that it won't break the information, it won't break your calendar, and it won't break Claude. And now you can add integrations, which is going to pop up here. So if I click add integrations, oh boy, that's not the list I was hoping for. I was hoping for a list. There's a whole new world of ways to interact with these tools that we might have to do a special on because it's too much for right now. But Claude is coming up with new things. ChatGPT now has codecs.
Sorry, we could even, I know when you're talking about going deeper and longer, we do that every Wednesday in the AI catch up. So maybe I'm just going to try to put these things on the list, and I hope the users will let us know when they do want us to go deeper, right, and spend more time on a particular project.
Yeah, so for anybody that wants to catch up, we do what's new on the latest. We kind of go quicker and we go through a lot of tools. On the AI catch up, we imagine that you're an intelligent audience who just hasn't seen these tools yet. So we treat the subject matter as if it's brand new to you or brand new to us, but still respectfully and intelligently, where we slowly walk through a tool. And then at the end, we say, like, look, if you want to learn more, here's a place to learn more, because there's always so much more to learn. So when I look at ChatGPT, they have codecs. For some people, they use code, so the pop-out looks like this. You can move faster with codecs. It's in preview, which is new, but it's an agent that answers code-based questions, executes code, and drafts pull requests. I used to kind of have this barrier to computer code. Even though I took a computer course in university, I took a coding course, I still kind of didn't get like why everybody needed coding. But now I understand that anyone who makes a website, your website has some code. Make this color, make this shape. Anybody that has an application has code. And now you have the ability to just type in. I mean, we did it the other day. We put, if anyone remembers the 1980s, 90s video game Tetris with the falling blocks, I typed in 2 words, code Tetris, just code Tetris. And it came up with a usable, playable, shareable game of Tetris. So now ChatGPT, if you look on this side menu, it says Codecs. Codecs is now happening, right? And so it's your software.
Yesterday, Brad, last night, I'm like, I can't have one more thing. I've got to go to bed.
There's so many new things, but this is your software engineering agent. So it can draft, it can navigate, it can run, and it's got a new coding model. And then GitHub, if people don't know, it's just a place for shareable computer files that help you say, okay, I don't know how to fix this piece of my code, and someone says, I do, and they solve similar problems together. It's a community of computer code. Notebook LM. I mean, we're doing some quick hits today, guys. Notebook LM is from Google. It's free. It's the language model notebook. It's really cool. The new feature, where's the new feature? I don't know if I can do it with a blank notebook, is that you can share it. We saw this yesterday. So like, if anyone hasn't seen the Discover, so Notebook LM from Google has 3 panels. The left panel is your sources, right? Like we talked about with RAG, this is your RAG. This is your area that it will retrieve information from. The middle panel is your chat. You talk to it, right? And the right panel is your studio. You can create a study guide, a briefing guide, frequently asked questions, etc. So when you discover sources, new feature from Notebook LM, I could say, HTTP and what's the hyperspace? What's the acronym, David? You're on mute. What's the acronym?
Let me give it to you real quick.
Yeah.
It is, so you're saying the new thing that came out with the spatial computing, right? That we talked about earlier in the show.
Yeah.
It is called, so it's HSTP and HSML. So those will sit on top of HTTP and HTML, right? So one is protocol was the language.
So the HT is hypertext. So there's text, and then there's text that you can do something with it. As soon as you can do something with it, it becomes hyper. You can click it, share it, whatever. And then the ML and HTML is just a language. And then markup is when it's like marked up. It turned to bold, it turned large. You've done something with it. You've upped it. So that's your hypertext markup language. And then this is hyperspace markup language. So you're going to take some hyper version of a spatial 3D component, and then you're somehow marking it up. I don't know. I'm learning on the fly. But this discover sources let me just type in a topic, and Google's Notebook LM is going to go and find 10 sources. The answer is always 10. It will always give you 10. So if you go, why didn't it give me more? Just do it twice, right? Or 3 times or 4 times. And then I can choose here from these 10 options if I want to take them all, but I do. I just want to import them all. And they'll be here. And what I think is going to happen is that I'm going to be able to share it. I think so, because we looked at this yesterday. I think once I generate some information. So now this notebook became the evolution and future of the web. These sources explain the spatial web. I don't understand it yet. I'm going to save that as a note. And then where was the share button, David? I share at the top. It's new to me. So there's this new button called share. Like, ladies and gentlemen, there's so many new softwares and so many new buttons. Forgive us that we're We're trying to get through all of them. Share is a new button. And now I can add people in groups. I can notify people. I can give them a welcome note. Viewers have access to the full notebook, to the chat only. I'm going to say you can just chat it, right? I'll copy that link. Is that what I want to do? Right? You can chat with it. There's a welcome note that says, hi, welcome to the latest. This is our June 5, 2025 show. Hot topic. Okay, cool. And now I'm going to just copy that link and save it. And I'm going to put this in the chat, David. Maybe you can put it into your posts that are fantastic on LinkedIn. So that's a new feature. If anybody has some kind of document, they're working with a team, and they're like, hey, I've got this personalized set of knowledge I want to show you. I want to get you to see it. You could let people have full access to that, or you can just let them chat with it. That is really cool. Similarly, Perplexity has a similar kind of thing that you can make a space. I've not used spaces enough, but you can create a space that's similar on Perplexity. What's new with Perplexity is sort of like ChatGPT meets Wikipedia. It's much more focused, less on being your chat buddy and more on being factually accurate and drawing sources. There's this new light bulb button. So if you're in Perplexity, right, and you can see your magnifying glass is for search, right? Then you can see this atomic button is for research. So you're going to go atomic, just to the very small level. And now new is this labs button. And you can create a project. So you can turn your idea into a document. So like a Google Doc or an Apple Notes. You can turn it into slides. You can turn it into dashboards and more. So for anybody that wants to explore that, I just type that light bulb. And let's just use one of their examples, right? I'll just click it. I don't know. The problem is it takes a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, 9 minutes in the AI software era is a long time. So we're not going to sit for 9 minutes and watch. I do think that this 9 minutes will shrink. It should go 753. But if I wanted to, I could pop up a notification. And you can see this work. It says searching Microsoft, it's searching news, it's searching all these things. Perplexity is good for being very transparent about where the information comes from. So if it's really important, the sources, Perplexity is really interesting. Again, this is Quick Hits Day. We always mention Gamma. Gamma is just tremendous. Gamma is really hot for making websites, for making presentations, for me, you're an ambassador, David. It's a great, great tool. But
Right.
there's
oh, sorry, please.
There's also Beautiful.ai. Beautiful.ai makes presentations and they look a little differently. And then you can make them with AI. So I've not done this from a web page, but we could. What web page should we make? What's a web page that has enough information to make a deck about?
ESPN.
ESPN. That's interesting. All right.
Maybe.
Okay.
Information.
Might be too much. I wonder if we could make one about your company, WITI.
Oh, sure.
Right. So let's try that. So this is Beautiful.ai, and their decks look really good. They're not as customizable as what just happened there? I didn't really want to generate with AI. This is what I wanted to do. Add context, add web page. There we go. And then this is a company that helps companies learn and grow. Right? I didn't click generate presentation. That's why. I'm new to this software. There's so many of them. But what's different about Beautiful AI is the look. It looks different. And that's the value of it. You can share it. You can track who's gone through it. It becomes like a shareable website. So if you're doing a presentation, Beautiful AI is curating, supporting visuals. And like most of these things, it's not perfect. And you can swap out the text. You can swap out the images. But it's got a lot of neat looks. So it made just from your website. Look at this. It made some quotes. It found your logo. All I did was put in your website, nothing else. And it's making a slide deck about it. Right. And all of these are customizable. I can customize all of these slides, but it just looks different. And sometimes that's what you want. You want something to look a little different. You just go, I need to stand out from the crowd. All I did was type in the URL. If you put in a more robust effort, you might get a bigger output. That's beautiful.ai. Napkin,
You
it
email
is.
that to me, Brad. I want that stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I will absolutely. I'll share this with you at the end of the call. There's a share button. I can let you have access to it, and then you can edit it to your liking.
Put some good stuff on there. I'm like working on now. I'm like, oh, that member journey. I've got a document somewhere that looked great.
Yeah,
I think
right.
thing though too with these presentation, they anytime they put in a face, it's kind of good they lock up the spot, but just make sure you're not just auto sending these things, like maybe to a client where it's like says their name and then it's got a picture of them looking way older, way younger, way whatever.
I will say, David, I used this software with Freddie, our friend Freddie Ravel, who's a professional musician and the keynote maestro. So he's got 2 careers. And by the way, his career is amazing. As the keynote maestro, he's NASA, IBM, Disney, just like Walmart, like amazing companies where he's the keynote speaker for their corporate programs. It pulled photos of him from the internet. Like it was like, oh, you mean Freddie? And it pulled his photo. It was pretty awesome. But here's your member journey. How neat is that? Discover, join, connect, engage, grow, influence, elevate. Amazing. Napkin, just a shout out. If you're not using Napkin, it's a free software. It makes all these awesome diagrams that are customizable that you can take and then put into your beautiful. I could replace this image with a napkin graphic, and same for Gamma. You can put those in. We looked at Perplexity. Google Gemini has this. I mean, David, there's so much new. That's why I was excited when I told you it's going to be a banger today, this episode of the latest. This is from Google Gemini. When I went to just open it this morning, it said now I can create, write, and code in Canvas. I can make apps and games from scratch. Just explain your idea and watch Gemini build it for you. Create an AI-powered app or multiplayer game, then share it with friends. Go from first to final draft, share your work in progress, and ask Gemini to suggest edits or rewrite it, and then export your work to Google Docs. Like, this is super cool. This is so brand new. There's so much brand new stuff. I'm excited.
It keeps popping up.
It does. Like, I was just going to open it to see if there's something new, and there was. I was like, oh, I guess this is really the latest. I'll say again, labs.google. Labs.google is full of super cool things. AI filmmaking tools.
Flow. I was going to bring that up. I think we may have spoken about it a few weeks ago, but yeah, Flow looks interesting.
Yeah, right. Like, these are, for the majority of the people watching the latest, I will remind you that there is 30 to 40 or 50% of people who have never even heard of AI software. You will look like an absolute wizard by showing up with these tools. Don't think, oh, it's not the absolute perfect best. There are millions of people that will think that you are practically magic by showing up with these tools. If I sign in, I might have to sign in with the other guy. I was hoping to get a video preview. Watch Flow TV. That's what I wanted. So this is examples of what people are creating with prompts. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not $1 million month-long campaign. This is stuff people are making in minutes, literal minutes, right? Santa Claus on a talk show. It's amazing. And then you can combine these with the other software we learned about today, like 11 Labs, to create audio that you can overlay the audio on top of this. You are half a day away from looking like a world-class video professional on all of these softwares. I think that's my list for today. The rest of these are links we opened up during the call. That's a lot of what's new, but it's important to be aware that social media is going to evolve, that video is going to be the platform of choice for people to communicate on LinkedIn. If you want to be telling your audience that you're hip and with it, start a podcast like we're doing, do what David does, which is turn the transcript into a slide deck. Like, you do have to learn these things if you want to be competitive, and you do have to spend the time if you want to be good at it. However, once you've learned it, these are 5-10 minute tasks that you can delegate, that you can hire other people to do, or you can just do yourself. But today's interactive social media world is evolving at a breakneck pace, and we very much encourage you here at the latest to keep up with it. Don't be afraid. Reach out. If your corporation wants to learn from us, if you want us to come in and help you guys, we do that. We're glad to do it. We're good at it. There's so much new, Dave. That's the latest. We could do this every day.
No, for sure. And Brad, also, when you say learn, not a, 1 year course, right? I think it's the free, come into a few sessions. What I learned about Gamma this week, I'll just say before we wrap, and I do have our new electronic press kit from Stone AI. We could save that for next week. But one new cool thing with Gamma is you can put in headers and footers and then put your logo on it. So you just have that appear on each slide. So you can kind of bring some consistency across too, right? So anyway, that was one thing I didn't even know this week that I learned.
Yeah.
Shame on me for being a gay ambassador and didn't know that, but the people at Cam are just like, overflow of info. So
Yeah, it is. And hopefully for anybody watching, they saw one or two things that interest them. You do not have to go out and chase all those tabs and all those things, because as we're popping them up, there's new things on all those tools that you're like, oh my gosh, I can code, I can research, I can create, I can adapt, I can voice, video, and text and more. There's something you're doing that excites you, excites people, that solves a problem, that helps people out. The way that you can help people the most is by showing them with the tools that they're going to recognize and respect. And I think as professionals in the 2020s, we are in an era of constant learning and constant evolution, and we just have to accept that. Like, that's business today. You cannot just be like, oh, I just email people, and if they don't get it, too bad.
right.
Or maybe you can. Maybe you can. Maybe that's what you're doing.
No, that's right. So I don't think we've selected software we're going over yet on next week's AI catch up. Right? Or did we? I don't think we did yet. So
no, we did Notebook LM yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, Notebook LM yesterday. Gamma, I think the week before. I think. Anyway, or no, maybe it was Claude, then Gamma. But anyway, send us what you want to go dive deep into, and then we will do it. Okay, everybody.
Maybe we'll do Canva.
Canva's good. I just started playing with the AI, and yeah, it's good. The one thing I didn't like about it, which could be user error, is that we've had Canva account for many, many years. I'd like to be able to take AI, tell AI, hey, use some of our standard templates and then create this for me. So I don't think it's 100% there yet, but again, I may be doing something wrong, so I'll make sure we dig it. I'll dig into it for sure.
Yeah, great episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a